Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today, or joining myself here today, for this specific webinar here on how to get started with Veo. My name is Steven. I am a adoption and retention specialist at Veo, and I actually work with our customers to help them get the most out of their Veo system. And today, that's exactly what we're going to discuss. We're going to dive right into it. So please do keep your questions for the end. We will have a Q&A there, and then we'll take it from there. Additionally, do note that we have the weekend actually setting up just one office away from us. We are here at Parken. It's the biggest stadium here in Denmark. The national team plays here. And yeah, the weekend will be playing here soon. So there might be some sound checks in the background, but hopefully that won't be too disturbing. But let's dive right into this. Oh, just before I forget, at the very end of the webinar, we will actually have a special offer for all of you. So do stick in to the very end to see what that will be. Now, what is Veo? Because here we have the actual camera here. So this is an AI-powered sports camera. I'm sure you've probably seen it before. Maybe when you're out on the field, you're probably speaking with other coaches and you spot a little green camera up there. Or maybe your opponents have had it, or another team within your club has a Veo camera. We built this about 10 years ago now. Veo is actually 10 years old now, so we just passed that milestone. And we actually have 4 versions of this. So we have the Veo Cam 1, the Veo Cam 2, the Veo Cam 3, and then a sub-variant called the Veo Cam 3 5G, which actually has 5G connectivity. This is actually the Veo Cam 3 5G. You can see here on the very end, we actually have a little SIM card slot right here where we can put the SIM card into it. This allows you to actually go ahead and live stream out in fields where, connectivity is a little bit shoddy. You can actually go ahead and do so. But let me go ahead and show you actually how to connect to the Veo Cam 3, because it is fairly simple and a fairly straightforward process. So right here, I'll go ahead and switch on the camera. So you just hold on the power button like this, and you'll see the strobing lights go from left to right. This means that the camera is booting up, and soon it'll be ready to connect to. So I'll go ahead and connect my mobile device, because you will need the Veo Camera app either on the iOS device or on Android to go ahead and connect to the camera and actually start recordings. So you can see here, we've got the camera. It's all ready to go, booted up, ready to connect. Now here on my side, we actually have the carbon fiber tripod. So you will be getting one of these with your Veo Cam purchase. We have 2 sizes. So we have a 5.2 meter, that is about 17 feet, and then a 7.4 meter, about 24 foot tripod. And it's pretty hefty, and it goes up pretty high, but it's very easy to actually connect your camera to the actual tripod. So over here, we actually have a quick release plate on the very top of the camera. And the camera itself has a little latch right here. So all you'll need to do is pull out the quick release plate like this, and then slip the camera into the tripod like that. And you can see it's now clicked in. It is pretty robust, pretty sturdy. But just to make sure that it doesn't fall off, we also have an additional little latch here that you can switch on, and then the quick release latch doesn't move whatsoever. So now we'll go ahead and connect to the actual camera itself. We've got the phone right here. I'll go ahead and tap to connect, connecting to Veo Cam, and now we're connected and ready to go. You can see we can record and we can go live. Now, before you do so, you may want to go in and actually use the preview mode within the app. You can see here on the left-hand side, it's a little eyeball icon. When I tap into that, I'll get prompted to go ahead and connect to it and connect to the internal Wi-Fi of the camera. And just like that, we will connect into it now. And what that does is essentially allow us to see through the actual lenses of the camera. So you'll see here soon, we actually have an image. So you can see now, you can see my hand here in the left-hand side lens, and over here on the right-hand side lens. Now, you might be wondering, why do we pop in to the actual preview mode here? You want to do so to actually see the four corners of the entire pitch, because the AI that we do use to go ahead and follow the balls and things like that in all sorts of sports needs those specific corners marked so we can actually know this is the field where the game is being played. So as long as you can see two corner flags over here, or two corner cones, whatever it is that you have, right, on one side, and then the other two on the other side, then you're good to go and you can go ahead and start recording. So I'll go ahead and just exit out of the preview mode, just like that. And then it's a simple touch of a button, starting the recording just like that. And in a moment, we're recording. So now the camera is recording. I myself, if I were a coach, I can now put my phone in my pocket. I can now go ahead and focus on the game. I can look at my players. I can give commands. And then also as a parent, I can go ahead and enjoy the game, right? If that's the case, right? If I buy this for my kid. And post game, it's a very simple process. You want to walk right back over to the camera. As soon as you're next to the camera, pop into the actual application and just hit stop recording. So I'll go ahead and stop it. And just like that, the camera has stopped recording. So the recording is set. And now we have a few match details that we can set out, that we can adjust. We have what we played, 11v11. You can always adjust this as you go. Veo was actually created with soccer in mind, but we work with all sports. So in this case, where you may not see your field size, you should just go ahead and choose the one that's the most relevant, right? The one that's closest. So for example, rugby, 15 man, you would want to go ahead and choose the 11v11 because that's the biggest. Lacrosse, American football, you'd also choose 11v11 there. So I can go ahead, hit update match details, and then who played, I can actually pop in here. I can select which team played in this case. So as you can see, in this case, in my clubhouse, I have teams set by sport, but I'll go ahead and select football, just like this. And the opponent team, I could say FC Copenhagen, right? Just like that. Perfect. Save the name. That was our opponent. Update the match details and save the match. Now the match has been saved. It's in the eternal memory of the actual camera. So to get it off the camera, we don't use an SD card. You will need to connect the camera to your Wi-Fi network. This can be at your own home or at the school or at the club, right, where you train. And to do so, you'd want to pop into settings in the top right corner over here. Scroll down over to camera right here, as you can see, and then tap into connection. And in here, you can select the Wi-Fi network and connect the camera to your Wi-Fi. So the process, when you come back, when you're back from a game, you can see here in the library, we actually have an uploading recording. We also have the next recording, the one we just did. But once you're back home, all you'd want to do is switch on the camera, plug it into your battery, right, into the charger, and it will then automatically connect to your Wi-Fi network. Once it does that, it'll automatically upload the actual recording, and you will receive a notification in your email once the recording is ready to view. Because now we will go ahead and let the AI stitch the actual game together, follow the ball, and also get all the events, right? Things like shots and corners and things like that. All of that needs a pass. We say it takes 1 to 3 hours. It may be faster. It all depends on your internet speed at the end of the day. But that's a good rule of thumb to remember when you're using the actual camera itself. Now, the camera is a fantastic piece of hardware. However, that's not Veo. Veo isn't just the camera itself. Veo is an entire suite of tools that you can actually go ahead and use for analysis purposes. And I'll just show you a couple things that we actually have here at Veo, so you have an idea of what we've got here at Veo. So you'll see here we talk about the Veo platform. So the Veo platform actually spans quite a lot of things. So we actually have the camera itself, the cam, right? But then we also have a live add-on. So you can go ahead and live stream. We can live stream on YouTube, Facebook, and other channels, Twitch. Then, of course, you do have the Clubhouse. This is where you're going to go ahead and spend most of your time in there, giving feedback to players and so on. The editor as well, when you need to go ahead and do some analysis, this is where you'd be doing it. Then we have two add-ons as well. These are soccer, football specific. So we have analytics and player spotlight. Analytics allows you to get some additional in-depth information, heat maps, possession stats, things like this. We will touch on this a little bit later so you have an idea of what it looks like. And then finally, we do have Player Spotlight. Player Spotlight allows you to go ahead and select jersey numbers and follow the players play by play. Then we do have League Exchange, which is fantastic if you have a local league and you want to go ahead and actually follow games. We do offer this as well to certain clubs. Now, of course, you would have to reach out to us about this, but not to worry, we will assist you with that now. So you can see this is the Veo platform. It's more than just the camera. And for the rest of this webinar, we will dive into all the other facets of Veo, right? So firstly, we will talk a little bit more about how it is to coach with Veo. You will get a quick demonstration on how you as a coach can use Veo, leverage it to actually improve your team. And from a player perspective, we'll actually talk about how players can grow with Veo itself. So this is especially relevant, especially now in in North America. A lot of sports are paying a lot of players, especially at the youth leagues and now going into college. So you may want to know how you can get your players scouted, and Veo really does help with that. So let's dive into it. Without further ado, I will go ahead and pop into our clubhouse here. So here we are in the Veo Clubhouse, Veo Multisport. Let me just take a quick water. Brilliant. So here in Veo Multisport, this is the clubhouse. You can think of the clubhouse almost like we've got FC Barcelona. That's the clubhouse, right? So Veo Multisport is the actual clubhouse. On the left-hand side, we have the main navigation menu. We've got the library, teams, Veo cameras, player profile mentions, Veo Live, League Exchange, analytics, and then your general settings menus over here. To start this demonstration, we'll talk about teams because yes, you've got the FC Barcelona of the world, but within FC Barcelona, you probably also have your reserve team, maybe an under 18 team, maybe your girls team as well within the actual club level. So it's super important that you go into your teams and create your team. Now, in my multi-sport demo account here, we actually went ahead and created the teams by sport. So we have multiple sports here. We have American football, AFL, baseball, basketball, field hockey, football, futsal, and so on. As you can see, Veo works with a lot of sports, and then we also have the Veo Go, which is a little bit of a mobile device kind of situation here. But for today, we will be focused on football, soccer, because that is Veo's primary market. At the end of the day, that's what we started with. And we have the greatest features over here. So we'll go ahead and jump into the football team here. Now, you can imagine this if we were still thinking about like an FC Barcelona. This football team could be the under 17 team of FC Barcelona now, right? We're in here, and you can see we've all got all the 6 recordings that are relevant to the specific team. We've got them all over here. And if we pop into members right here, you'll see all the members within the actual team itself. So you can see here, we've got some players, we've got some coaches, and so on. So we always recommend that you go ahead and invite the players onto the platform, the coaches as well, because then you actually get access to all the features that Veo has to offer. So it's partly our mission to get everyone on board, because then it also helps you as a coach, because you can also give homework, for example, to players. You can tell them, hey, go into the actual game, make some clips, tag me in them, and then we can have this discussion, right? So this, aside from the actual AI automated part of the actual camera, you can get your team involved, and it's always nice to do so, because then the team themselves, the players, can also start training on a psychological level, looking at their clips and thinking on that kind of higher level versus just having the physical training that they may have, right? And it's a very simple process to go ahead and invite the members. Over here on the right-hand side, we have invite members. All we need to do is click into it, and you'll see we can go ahead and send over a couple emails independently if that's something we want to do. But we can also just go ahead and copy a link and drop this link into the group chat where we already have all the players. This is my recommendation to you if you already do so. Now, this is quite an important part, the actual permissions of the team. So you can see that team contributor here, this is the lowest set of permissions. These was specifically made for players. So they can go in, they can create clips, they can edit the clips, but they can't damage the actual recording, right? So they can't go in and say, change a score. They can't delete certain things. That is out of their hands, right? Then we do, of course, have a team editor. Team editor is specifically made for analysts and also, let's say, social media. If you've got that part in your club, you can go ahead and give them the team editor permissions. This allows them to actually go in, adjust match details. They can go in and create some clips and have a little bit more control over the actual team contributor. And finally, of course, we do have team admin. They have all of the above permissions, and on top of that, they can actually add or remove people from the team. They can delete recordings, and so that's a very important role to have in the team. My recommendation is you only send that invitation over to people who are trustworthy, right? So coaches and maybe board members and things, pardon me, things like that should actually go ahead and get that permission, right? Now, let's leave that behind and actually pop into a recording. So if we pop into a recording here, I can probably go ahead and choose any of these, but let's take this one. It's looking pretty good. This is actually here in Denmark, in a field not too far away from here. But now we are in the actual editor itself. And you can see that there's quite a lot going on here in the Veo editor. And I need to actually preface a few things when it comes to specific sports. So you'll see that we do have a minimap over here on the right-hand side. This is part of our analytics package, which is soccer, football focused. So it won't be available for other sports. Likewise, the jersey numbers down here, this is soccer focused. This doesn't apply to other things like AFL, rugby, anything else. You won't be able to get this one here. However, you will most likely get these events down here, right down here. So if I go over here, you'll see it says kickoff over here, goal kick, corner, goal kick, and so on. So that's basically the AI picking up on all the events throughout the game. So you yourself, as a coach, as an analyst, you don't need to go in and find those moments. They're all picked for you, right? All these events. Quite important to know that these events are there for soccer and they're there for American football, rugby, and lacrosse, but they aren't there for any other sports. So rugby, you'll have your lineouts, scrums, things like that. That'll appear. But anything else, basketball, volleyball, that is in the pipeline. I know the engineers are working on that, so eventually it will come. Now, let's go ahead and maybe do an example here. Let's assume that I am a coach, and I was here at this game, and maybe I want to go ahead and do some quick analysis here. Maybe there was something I wasn't too happy about, and I'd like give that feedback back to the players, right? So first thing that I can do is I could sit down realistically and actually watch this entire game. It's 114 minutes, but that might be a little bit difficult given that you have lives, kids, family, other obligations, right? So we've actually made it very, very easy and smooth to go ahead and find the moments that count using the actual events over here. So on the right-hand side, if you look over here, we do have the Events tab here, right under Clips here. It's this little 3 dots and 3 lines. If we click into that there, you'll see that we have all the AI events that the AI picked up throughout the game and per minute here. So you can see that the opponent here, 5th minute, had a shot. If I scroll down here, 10th minute, we actually had a throw-in, and so on and so forth. And if I go ahead and scroll down, you can see we do have the second period. We also have the first period. Now, let's assume in this specific match here that, let's say, I wasn't too happy as a coach about the way we were transitioning the ball from the defensive third up into the mid third. Maybe I wasn't too happy about the way our keeper was passing the ball, and there's some room for improvement there, right? So what I can go ahead and do actually can go into the filters here, pop them open, and then go into the event types here and select an event that's actually relevant to what I'm trying to look for. So in this case, I would go ahead and select goal kick because the ball is actually originating from the goalkeeper. And then I'll collapse the menu, pop open teams, and then I'll select my own team there, just like that. And then I'll go ahead, apply the filters, and you'll see here now, instead of going through all the 100 plus events, I've just got all the goal kicks we've had in the game, and I can go in and analyze them as a coach. So I can select the very first one here, and we can see our goalkeeper is setting up the pass. He's passed it down to our center back over here, or our right back. It's looking pretty good. It's going up. And in fact, I think this is actually a pretty good attack and a pretty good push from the team. So I wouldn't say anything about that. Maybe I would clip this to show them that this is exactly what we're looking for, right? But which is also important to do as a coach, right? As equally as you will be pointing out maybe their errors and things like that for the players, you should make some clips of their best moments as well. Lift up the spirits of the players. But here on this second one here, we can click in and see what happens here. We've got the keeper. He makes a pass down over to the right-hand side, and we do get dispossessed here and lose possession. This could be a very dangerous place to actually lose the ball. So maybe this is something I'd like to talk to the keeper about, right? So I'll go here right next to the actual event. I'll click on Create Clip. And now here we are in the actual creation station, as I like to colloquially call it. So the very first thing that you'll want to go ahead and do is actually tag the clip with something that's relevant. So in this case, we do have a goal kick and a defense of our side. So I'll go ahead and select defense. And here I'll go ahead and select goal kick. Here we go. Right there it is. Perfect. And now that I'm done with that, I can go in and actually adjust the duration of the clip. So by default, it is 30 seconds. As you can see, 15 seconds from this moment here and 15 seconds forward. But if I don't want all the preamble, I can go ahead and cut it here. So let's see here. We've got a lot of pause right here. I'll go ahead and cut it to that point right there, just when the goalkeeper is about to get the ball. We'll cut it even a little bit further, just like that. And I think that's all right. So now I may want to go ahead and point something out to the actual player, right? I want to emphasize a certain point. In this case, as a coach, I'm no actual football coach here, right? So whatever I could be saying could be completely wrong here. But in this case, I would say I'm not too happy about the crossing down to the right-hand side. I would rather that he goes and looks for some open space. And as far as I can see, right here next to the ref over here, it looks pretty open here. Out of the camera view, I'm certain that there's probably some of our center mid over here, something like that. So this could be a very opportune area to actually pass into. So what I can do is I can pop open the drawing tools down here on the left-hand side. And in it, first, I will probably select the spotlight to go ahead and actually mark the player like this. So then the goalkeeper actually knows we're talking about him. I'll go ahead and play the clip just partly and stop it right there and potentially pick up, let's say, maybe the ellipsis tool, just like this, and draw an ellipsis into this area over here. I can then also go ahead and take the text tool to actually write within the clip itself. I'll adjust the actual color, take the color there, and then say here, look for open spacing. This would have been a good place to pass to, something like that. Just quick feedback. I can then go ahead and actually take an arrow. You see we have different arrows as well, pass, run, dribble. I'll go ahead and select pass, select color blue, and then tell him to make the pass in there, right? So the cross into this section. And then, yeah, I think I'm happy with the feedback here at this point. I'll go ahead and let the clip play out a little bit right here, and then I will adjust it here. So we lose possession around here. I don't think we need to see anything else for that point. I'll cut it down to there. Now, here on the right-hand side, you'll see we have actually involved players. So I can go in and actually select the player that was involved. This is actually why you need to invite the players into the team. If you have underage players, we do recommend that you go ahead and actually invite the parents on behalf of the players and simply tell the parents to go ahead, hey, and put your son or your daughter's name instead of your own name. So you yourself as a coach, you don't need to be thinking on who is who's Frederick, right? Oh, I think that was Tom's father or something like that, right? So here we've got the players, right? We'll go ahead and select an Echo. Let's assume that an Echo was the actual goalkeeper for this game. But maybe there were multiple players involved in a clip, right? Maybe there were the entire defensive line broke down at some point. You could actually go ahead and select all the defenders in that case, and they will all get emails when you create the clip saying, hey, Coach Steven has actually created some feedback. Click in. Let's take a look here. So I'll go ahead and just select an Echo for this one, just like that. And then here in the description, I can provide a little bit of further explanation in this case. So I'll go ahead and tell him, cross into the open space. Something simple like this. You can go as detailed as you want, but just for this quick example, we'll do so like this. And finally, visibility. When we click into the team visibility, we actually have a couple things here. So we can adjust and ensure that this clip is seen by the entire public. This is the first option. In this case, if you actually share your recording, say with the parents of players or other players themselves, or even opponents, when they click into the actual recording, the full recording, they will be able to see this clip because you saved it as public. So my recommendation is you actually restrict the clip. So we have a few other options here. So we have the team members. So only members within the team, so in this case, the football team, will be able to see it. Only the tag players will be able to see it. This is another one. This is pretty good if you want to give individualized feedback. And then finally, we have all the club coaches if you want to keep it a little bit more private in that case. Now, for you as a coach as well, you can also just keep it hidden, so it's only visible to you. In this case, you can use the clips actually kind of like a repertoire, a diary of all the feedback that you want to maybe talk about with the kids later on, or the players later on. You can go ahead and do so and keep the clips for himself, so no one else can see it but you. In this case, I will just select it for myself. And in fact, I will remove my colleague in Echo. I'm sure he has enough emails as is. I'll go in and create the clip. And just like that, the clip has been made here at 27:52. Now, for me to go ahead and find the clip, I can go here into clips on the right-hand side. And you'll see here that the AI picks up on all the shots and the shots on goals. These are the clips that it makes automatically. This is kind of like the bread and butter that you may want from a football game, right? Soccer game. But if I click into Buy Me here, we now have the clips that I've made myself. So I can go in here and click into it just like this. And you'll see that the clip will start playing and then pause just like this. So every drawing essentially acts as a freeze frame. And this allows you to go ahead and start doing your explanations. You could imagine that we actually have the actual game put up on maybe a projector on a big screen, and you've got the players sitting down for a quick review session during the week. You can actually go ahead and do this. I'll go ahead and hit play, and then the clip will go to the next drawing. Again, you'll see it'll pause right here. You can then go ahead and give your explanation as a coach, tell them, hopefully it doesn't go in one ear, goes out the other. And next time, your goalkeeper will actually be doing a little bit better, right? And I can just hit the space bar just like that. And then the entire clip will elapse just like that. So that is actually how you can go ahead and use the events to find moments that count much faster than simply just sitting down and going play by play, 5 seconds here, 5 seconds there. And you can get very creative on how you use the events. So for example, now we just looked at the goalkeeper, but say you realized that there were some moments where your defense wasn't doing so well, right? Maybe the opponents were getting a lot of shots off, and you might be wondering, why was that the case? Why were they able to score so much? What were our defenders doing, right? So you can actually go here, clear the filters, pop into the filters, event types. In this case, I could go for shots, right? Collapse the menu, pop open teams, and then by opponent team. And already, you can already see the opponent team had 10 shots off versus our 4 in this game. It sucks for us, right? But now we can actually go through all the 10 shots that they took against us, and we can make clips just as we did for the actual goalkeeper. We can do it for the actual defenders, so we can see where we went wrong, where were the holes, and what advantages did they take that we, just maybe willingly gave to them or unwillingly gave to them, right? And that is one of the, as I said, bread and butter features actually of the Veo platform. But now we'll touch on the player side of things here. So down here on the bar here, you can see that we have all the player jersey numbers. And this allows you to actually go ahead and track the players individually and go through their moments here. So I'll select jersey number 77 here because it's a very exotic number in this case. And we'll see that the AI then picks up on the moments. In this case, you'll see that, he's highlighted here. We have number 77 making a run down here. You'll see that up here, we only have 1 out of 2 moments, which can always be adjusted here on the right-hand side. We have this little settings icon here under player moments. In it, we have a couple sliders. So we have a distance to the ball. We can put it to medium, and then time on the ball to short if we want to have more moments here. Applying the settings here, you can see now we have a lot more. So we have 1 out of 76, and we can actually go through all of these moments where number 77 would have been on the ball or close to the ball in this case because we adjusted the distance slider. Pardon me. Now, 76 moments, that's quite a lot, right? For a player, that's completely fine because they can actually sit down, have the time to go through their moments and curate their best moments, their best clips, which they can actually add to their player profile, which I'll show you fairly shortly here. But let's say as a coach, I may want to just look at the most meaty moments of my players, right? Where they were really on the ball, making an actual impact on the field. What I can then do is pop into the actual settings here, adjust the distance to the ball to near because we want to make sure that the player is actually on the ball, and then adjust the time on the ball to about medium to long. And that was the settings we had just previously before. And here we are again, and you can see we only have 2 moments here where number 77 was really on the ball. So we can see here he gets this pass here, the back pass, and he makes a push. Unfortunately, he gets blocked there by their winger or their striker in that case. But if we go to here to number 2, we can see that, let's see what happened over here. Number 77, he's making a push, trying to defend our goal in this case. Unfortunately, he fails, and it looks like they are okay. Our goalkeeper saved that, but I don't know. That could have been a goal there. But if I were number 77, what I could do then is I can actually go into the same clip right here, right at the moment. I can create a clip just as we did as a player. I can do the exact same thing, and I can tag it and then create the clip itself. And once I've made a couple clips, I can go ahead and add this to my player profile, which is what I'll show you now. So we'll pop into player profile over here. And the player profile acts as their highlights page for all the players. Think of it as essentially their highlight reel of all their moments throughout the entire season or throughout the entire years at their club, right? They can go ahead and actually curate everything in one place. So you can see here, we've got my name here, Steven van Hofsten is up here. We have my jersey number 78, my team as well. And then you'll see all the clips here that I added. You can see here that actually within the clip, it pauses and also goes ahead and highlights where I am on the field. You can actually go ahead and manually decide that as you go ahead and do so. And you'll see down here in the left-hand corner, you can actually see what this clip represents. So I put this clip up saying that it shows my vision, my passing, and my positioning abilities, right? I could click in here, and you'll see there are multiple other ones. Here are my interception skills, my aggression, my marking, my strength, my speed, and so on, right? And this is fantastic if you've got players who are trying to get scouted. Now you can get all their top moments and show the scouts exactly what these moments show, right? And if I go ahead and scroll down here, you can see me with my glasses on and my jersey number, wearing a potential Barcelona shirt. This was during my tenure there. You know, it's a great time. And we've got a little blurb here as well about myself. I can adjust that as a player. Down here, I can put my key information as well, my preferred foot, height, weight, age, GPA, and so on. And then finally, positions and play style. So I can see here that I'm better at CM, RM, and attacking midfielder. Those are my preferred positions. So once I'm happy as a player with my player profile, I can just go ahead and copy the player profile link and send that over to recruiters, send that over to universities, send that over to other teams, and or I could send it over to family, and they can enjoy my moments actually. But aside from the player perspective here, we also have the analytics tab, and this is quite helpful for the coaches. And it's right over here. You'll see right under this little plus icon, which you can use to create clips. Right here, we've got this little bars. And when I open it up, you'll see that we have analytics right here. Immediately, we can see that we have goals scored, we have shots, and then we also have passes, a couple stats. These are metrics that you can decide on whenever you want. You can see here also the comparison to the last couple games, how we've been doing it. So that to the last match, we had less passes here. We also had less shots. And then if you scroll down, you can see also your recent form here. And at the very bottom here, we've got all the additional stats. So if I open up the stats page, you can see now that we actually have the stats from both sides, both the opponent and myself, my team. And if we scroll down here, we actually have passes completed, possession percentages, possession minutes, and so on and so forth. If I go ahead down here and open up shot map here, you can see all the shots that we took in the game. If I select the opponent here, we can actually look at their shots as well. And here on the map, we can actually click into them and jump straight to those shots, as well as to the goals. You can see the goals here are highlighted in white there. Now, I can go ahead and look at other maps here as well. We've got pass location as well. We do also have possession location, where we're holding the ball. Pass strings as well. How have we been doing? Are we passing more, 5 or more times, and how often? And then finally, the heat map to see where the action is taking place and the positioning of the actual players themselves. So it's a lot of data. That's for certain. And maybe you are not so much of a data person, or you don't really want to look at the numbers. In that case, we also actually have this AI here called Coach Assist. So I'll go ahead and open it up. And Coach Assist essentially works just like a ChatGPT Gemini styled LLM. This allows you to actually go in and write and ask about the match, or about the team, or about the entire club here. So I could probably go in and say, hey, I'd like you to identify any trends and patterns within this game. I could tap that in there. It'll go ahead and start thinking, pull all the data from the actual game that the AI was able to pick up, and then produce a report in English for you to go ahead and actually use. If you have another language, it will also go ahead and put it in that. We have a couple languages, German, Italian, and so on. So you would get it in your specific or preferred language. So you can see here, trends and patterns. We've got the analysis here. We've got that we had sharper finishing, lower volume, and so on and so forth here. So this is a nice way to go ahead and get all of this, all the benefits of analytics without actually diving into all the actual numbers themselves. However, analytics is even more potent when you actually use the Analytics Studio, which I will go ahead and open right here so you can take a look at. So here we are now in the Analytics Studio, and you can see now that we are looking at the stats over the last 10 recordings. So with the studio, you can actually go ahead and measure how your team has been doing this season. Are we performing better? Are we performing worse? Is my training as a coach actually affecting it, and the performance of the team over time here? So you can see we've got some key metrics here: goals scored, our average, number of shots, passes, and conversion rate. We can also see here the actual goals over the last couple matches here. So in this case, we only have about 6 matches in our team. And if I scroll down, we then have the same analytic stats that we had before, but all the aggregated data from all of the actual recordings. So everything on average, you have it here. So you can see where you've been attacking from, where you actually have been scoring from. We can see it's been deep in the actual box here, right in the center. Where all these shots have been coming from. These are a little bit off. I'm not gonna lie there. But then you can actually look at your opponent's shots as well. So if you click on defending here, you can see where your opponents have been shooting at from throughout the entire couple of games, and also where they've been scoring from. So from a coaching perspective, you can actually use this to kind of spot like, okay, where are we weakest most, right? Where do we need improvement? We can go ahead and do this. Now, of course, everything is in the box. So at the end of the day, it can be a little bit of a coin flip. That's football, right? That's soccer. But yeah, you can pick up some good data over here. Then, of course, we do have a pass location, possession location, and then finally a comparison dial, which you can then use to compare your performance between a certain period to another period as well. And you may have noticed here at the very top that we actually have player stats. And if you tap into it like this, we now have the statistics of each player. Right now, this is semi-automated, so you will need to go in and actually select, say, hey, Steven took the shot, and then select Steven and put him to the goal, right? So in this case, for example, we have Laurent here. He had a start. You would need to actually put Laurent into the lineup within the actual game itself. This is something we are working on as I speak right here. I don't have an ETA on it right now, but I know that the engineers are working on making all of this completely automated for soccer and football. And then eventually it will be rolled out to all sports as well. And finally here, again, the coach assist here. So now you can actually use the coach assist across all the games. And if you want to get a more in-depth breakdown, not just of one game, but everything, you can go ahead and talk to the coach right here and do so like that. And that is really the core add-ons of soccer for football here at Veo. But we do have some other add-ons here, which is actually the Veo Live add-on. And this live add-on can actually help you by letting you live stream anywhere you'd like. So I can go in and add a streaming destination and select a platform. You can see here we do have YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, and also custom locations. If you have maybe a specific website, you can get RTMP and get that connected there. And live streaming is pretty good. If you, of course, have, say, players who are injured or sick and can't make to a game, you can go ahead and live stream it. If, say, your club actually has quite a big following, you can go ahead and live stream on YouTube as well. And using the overlays here, if we click in, you can actually go ahead and leverage it to go ahead and get sponsors for your team. So in this case, Big Pens and Moose family here are our sponsors. But whatever sponsors you have, you can tell them, hey, we'll put you on the live streams. So then you get a little bit more exposure. And this is another way to get an income stream into teams, right? It's very, very nice to have. And the live streaming works with almost all sports at this point. There will be a few where it might be a little bit finicky, but any sports where there is ball of some kind, it will be working there. Now, finally, the League Exchange over here. As I had mentioned at the start, League Exchange is essentially our tool to go ahead and create your own league. If you've got a league and you want to have a single dedicated place to actually follow all the matches, all the recordings, the scores, the rounds, we can provide that to you. This isn't a standalone product that you can get from us, but it is something that we can definitely discuss. If you contact us and you've got a pretty big league, we can go ahead and set this up for you, and very likely free of charge as well. And it's used quite often. I think recently it was used here with the Division 2 here in Sweden, and they're in the middle of their games here. As you can see, you've got here round 12 here, and recent games being played there. So it's fantastic if that's the kind of thing that you will need. But that really is it for me today. I think I've gone ahead and touched on as many things as possible regarding the actual Veo platform. However, there is still quite a lot to go over. We do offer free 20-minute onboarding calls, and you can have as many as you want. So if at any time you do join us, we can actually have one-on-ones. It might be with me, it might be with my colleagues actually, and we will go ahead and discuss your specific needs, what you want to do with the Veo, and we can show you how you can go ahead and do it. Now, as I said at the very start of this webinar, we actually do have a fantastic offer, and it is the Veo Starter Package. So for everyone in here until June 30th, you do have the great chance to actually go ahead and get a Veo Cam 3, this one right here, for 50% off, and you'll get the very very basic package here. So the starter subscription. And as you can see here, you save quite a lot of money in comparison to actually just buying the camera and the full kit. And a regular subscription as is, that itself is more expensive than this. So I highly recommend, if you've been thinking about hopping onto Veo, if you've been thinking of a recording solution, to take advantage of this offer, because it doesn't come very often, and now it's a great time to actually get into it. If you are out of season right now, say your season has just ended and you won't be starting in August, September, we actually can help you with that as well. So if you do, let us know and reach out to our sales team. We can go ahead and get you these next couple months free of charge, or extend your subscription based off of the amount of time you're off season now, if you'd like to go ahead and make the purchase now within a week, or today, or whenever you'd like to go ahead and do so. But that really is it for me today. I will jump into some Q&A now. I hope everyone got a lot of value here. So let's check the questions and see what we've got here. So at the very top, let's scroll to the top here. We've got Rahul here saying, actually, I don't know if Cricket is covered by the Veo Cam or not. Cricket actually can be recorded by Veo, funnily enough. So a lot of ball sports can be covered by Veo, and cricket is one of them, Rahul. So that's good to know if you'd like to go ahead and set up a cricket camera, right? Now we've got here, you'd like to go ahead and cover sports events, music videos with special cameras. I'm actually looking for a sponsorship program. We don't really have a sponsorship program in that case for these kind of events. Funnily enough, Veo can be used for a lot of things outside of regular rugby, soccer, football, American football. If I've seen weddings and things like that. So you can get creative as long as you have some kind of ball in the very middle of whatever you're trying to record, maybe like a long jump, high jump, something like that. You could, technically speaking, set up the Veo, capture it, and have it pointed in one spot. That's not its use case, but it would do the job as well. And here we have Leonardo, professional coach, and you're interested in purchasing some Veo 2 units. Okay, 5 cameras. That's a very good request, Leonardo. Unfortunately, the Veo Camera 2 has been discontinued. All we have is the actual Veo Cam 3 and the Veo Cam 3 5G. If you check in secondhand markets, you might be able to find some. However, do be careful, because sometimes if they're broken, they do get sold and then they don't work, and then you might be out of money in that case. But we can definitely get in touch with you, Leonardo, if you'd like to look for some Veo Cam 3s. We can definitely take a look at that here. And our good sir, Ben, Veo Cam 2, instant playback in the Veo Cam 2. So on the Veo Cam 3, actually, we do have kind of a VAR, instant playback feature. So this is very specific to all sports. You'll be able to go back and actually go back a couple minutes. If you see an incident on the field and you want to contest that with the ref, you can actually pull out your phone and say, hey, take a look here. Let's go back a couple seconds and I'll show you exactly what happened there. So the Veo Cam 3, that does that there. So Rich here, David, will this be available to watch after it's filmed? I assume that you may be referring to this specific webinar. This is something that we will have to check, but I do believe that it will be. So you will have this resource on hand as well afterwards. Now, Rich, here you're talking about selecting 9v9. What do you select for 9v9? That's really for the youth in that case. So a lot of teams in the United Kingdom, for example, they're playing 9v9 up until U13s, things like that. So that is really dependent on your specific field size, right? Usually it would be half a standard pitch, then you can go ahead and select 9v9. If you also have basketball, you can go ahead and select 9v9 as well. That works as well. But just as I had said in the actual recording here, and also with the demonstration, that you want to pop into the actual preview mode. And once you're in the actual preview mode, as long as you can see the corners, you're ready to go. So it doesn't matter what size pitch you've got, basically. Now let's see here. Please share the recording. Some of our networks aren't stable, keeps freezing. No problem, Bekuzulu. We will go ahead and share that recording. Petra, are there any plans to organize a similar workshop using rugby as the main example? So Petra, that is a very good question. We actually do that very often in my team. Actually, we have the 20-minute one-on-one calls with all the customers. So if you do have rugby, we can do that 100%. And if you'd like, we could also organize a one-on-one demonstration, just yourself and my team, before you make the purchase, to show you how it also works with rugby as well as the main example. Here, Solile, struggling to see it live. Can we share it? We will definitely do that here. Lee Nash, analytics is an extra charge. It is indeed. Analytics is an additional add-on that you would have to pay for once you get the actual package. However, I will let you on in a little bit of a secret here that I think if you were to get this package right now, this offer that we have, and analytics, if you add it on afterwards, you will be able to, not you will be able to, but you will be coming in at a very good time. Because as I said, our engineers are working on a lot of things. So you may be surprised about what analytics can do then in the next couple months, that's for sure. But let's go down here. We've got saving the drawings and the clips. Yes, indeed. You can actually save the drawings within the clips themselves. You just have to make the drawing in the clip and then save the clip afterwards. If you'd like, Maxwell, Steve, we can definitely hop on a call. We can show you how to do that as well, and also answer any other questions that you have. Now, Maxwell, can you zoom in on specific moments during playback, or is it fixed at wide angle? This is a very good question. And in fact, I can actually go ahead and show you right now here. So I'll pop back into a recording here. And here we are in the example recording. And if we just pop into some actions over here, you'll see then we actually have this little tab here, this little button called the interactive player. If we click into it, we now have the ability to actually look across the entire field at any point in time here. So if, say, as a coach, I want to be looking at what my defenders are doing in this case, and not following the ball, essentially what the back line is doing, I can do this. I can look at the positioning of our keeper. Is he out too far? Where is he in relation to the rest of the game? And as you can see, I'm going ahead and actually zooming in on these moments like this. So I can actually zoom in on games or action that's happening further away here. In fact, we actually have another football match happening there. But the Veo is really good. It won't be following additional balls that are in the background. So you could have multiple fields at the same time, and your field would be in action there. And you can also make clips that are interactive like this. However, it takes a little bit of time. So for today, we won't do that. But if you do hop on a call with us, we'll definitely show you how that's done there. Let's go in and ask. We've got William here. You showed a lot of connection to football. Field hockey, is this available on the platform, or is it limited at this stage? It is also available for field hockey, William. Just as I said, it will not show the actual event. So whenever you have shots and goals and things like that, that won't pop up. However, we do have a solution, which is essentially the bookmark icon. The bookmarking feature, essentially, anytime you see something happen in the game, you can just bring out your phone, bookmark it. And just as we see in the actual right here in the timeline here, you see you've got all the actual events. When you bookmark them, you'll actually have a little marker right here within the timeline. So even though you won't have all this AI picked up events, you will have the events that you put in yourself when it comes to field hockey. And it follows the ball very well with field hockey, I must say so myself. And Murat, good question. Can we use several cameras for one game? Technically speaking, you could put up two cameras on one side for each side, so you can have one on one side, one on the other. However, it is recommended that you just go ahead and have one camera, because you just get one field and one field of view. Some teams have actually purchased additional cameras to put them behind the goals, so you also have a kind of lateral view there. So you could go ahead and do so, but it won't be the same viewing experience, so to say, that's for sure. Now, Wall, can I just buy the gadget and save the file on a personal SD card? Unfortunately not. The Veo Camera comes with a built-in memory, so it's about 100 gigabytes in here. And the camera itself has, well, you would need to go ahead and upload the recordings first to your Clubhouse. And then once it's in your Clubhouse, you can download it onto your hard drive, and then you can put it anywhere else that you'd like to do so. Now, here we go. Anita, can I create clips for my players if I'm not in football but in handball? Yes, you can. You can definitely create handball clips. Just as I said with the hockey, you can go ahead and actually use the specific bookmark feature to go ahead and find those handball moments there. John, is it possible to create clips during a match, having a coach dedicated to creating clips so they can be reviewed right after the match? So this is a caveat there. You can't do this immediately in the match. Again, as we said, with the bookmark feature, you can go ahead and mark those points in time as the match is happening. So if you see something and you want to talk about it later, you can actually pop into the actual recording and put in some feedback and then save the bookmark for later. That is actually something you can do. And whilst we're connected to the Veo camera here, and we do have a little bit of time, I will swap over to my phone now, and I'll show you actually how that works now, as we've actually mentioned it a couple of times here. So we'll plug into the mobile device here, and we'll go in over here. Now we'll go into record, and we'll start the recording just like this. And you'll see then that the recording begins. There we go. Perfect. And now you'll see just down here, if I just swipe there, you'll see down here at the very bottom, we have add bookmark. So this is the exact feature that I was talking about here. Just like you said there, John and Anita, you can go in and tap into add bookmark here. So now we're at 17 seconds into the recording. So imagine this is maybe 17 minutes into the game. I see something, maybe there's like a tackle that I'm just like, oh, this is something we have to talk about with the ref afterwards. I can say bad, or I can say good. I can adjust actually, and so like the two of them here. So I can say bad defense, bad offense in that case, and then I can put in a comment. So I can say, hey, crazy tackle, something like that, right? Just for this example, and then I can hit save. And just like that, we've actually saved the bookmark. And if I swipe up like this, you'll see now we have a couple options here. We've got the instant playback that I was talking about that actually works a little bit like the VAR. And then also here we've got the bookmark list. So if you tap into bookmark list, you can see here 0 minute in the game. We've got bad offense. We've got the crazy tackle here. So you can imagine if, say, you have basketball, hockey, or things like that. If you've got a goal, you can go in, tap the bookmark, say goal, and then save it for later. And as long as you have maybe an assistant coach to go ahead and do this while you focus on the coaching, this is a great way to go ahead and pick up on all those moments, especially since you won't be getting any sort of AI highlights on that front. So I'll go ahead and close it there just like that. And we'll go ahead and stop the recording. I will pop right back into the computer then in that case, just like that. We'll continue with some questions here. So let's see here. We have got here, can we use, yes, let's see here. Perfect. Can you live stream and record at the same time? If so, how? Good question, Martin. So whenever you go live with the actual Veo camera itself, the camera will be making a recording, and it will upload that recording to your Clubhouse as well. So you will have a live stream and an actual recording in your Clubhouse. Now, you can't go record and go live. It's one or the other. So you would go live, and that live streams and creates a recording, or you would just create a recording and that's it. You won't be live streaming in that case. And how you go ahead and do that, as we had, well, in the actual application itself, you can go ahead and tap on live stream and go live, and then you'd be able to choose your specific live streaming destination, YouTube, Twitch, or whichever is your preferred, right, in that case. Now, Nico here, what clients do you have from where? Analytics session available for both teams, capture in one match or only? So we do have multiple clients, as we said, different sports, everything from rugby to Australian football to regular football, soccer, and everything, all of the above. Hockey, volleyball, water polo, even baseball as well. We cover a lot of things. Given that Veo has been in the game, so to say, for 10 years, we are one of the most robust cameras on the market, and our software as well is one of the most refined on the market, if not the most refined. It's the easiest to use, the easiest to get used to, and you could teach other people in your team within a short period of time. Now, in terms of analytics, as we said, it's only soccer, football focused, right? So it won't be available for other add-ons right now, other sports right now. But this will be eventually something that does occur, that is coming down the line. We're working a lot on American football right now, rugby, and then the rest of the sports are going to get the analytics as well. Now, Murat here, what subscription for after we buy the camera and tripod? So in this specific case, for this offer here that we've got, it will be the starter plan. The starter plan is the most basic plan. It gets you started. And then if you need a couple more hours or you need more teams, you can go ahead and upgrade it as you go, right? Now, Clarence, American football parent here, wondering if Veo captures defensive highlights automatically as well as offensive highlights. Is AI analytics available? I think you mentioned it on the way, mainly concerned about defensive highlights. So as we said there, Clarence, it doesn't to that degree, right? If it comes to analytics, that's what you're talking about here. It doesn't work with American football. However, to make your highlights, you can definitely do so yourself. You just go into the events themselves. You would go ahead and filter by the specific events, the offensive or the defensive events, and then you'll find the moments, create a clip, and then you'll have a list of clips which you can then take, download, and say, put it over to CapCut or Adobe Premiere Pro. You can go ahead and create an entire highlight reel just from those clips themselves. Now, again, we are working on a solution for this. I actually have seen a prototype there. I cannot speak much else about that, but eventually everything will just be completely automatic, and it's going to be even less headache for coaches, analysts, and even better for players, right, over time. Is there a payment plan? Well, so right now we don't offer payment plans like Klarna or Afterpay. This isn't something that we have currently. It is something that may eventually come. However, if the one-time payment is something that's too expensive for you, we do have additional subscriptions. So we have a monthly, month-to-month subscription. We also do have a 6-month subscription. So we can always tailor and see how long is your season, and then adjust it to fit your specific needs in that case. So a lot of our teams, they do pay on a month-to-month because simply maybe that's how their financing works. But the most cost-effective for you to save money and never have to think about the hassle of like paying for more or getting this extra charge and things like that is just to pay for 12 months upfront and then forget about it, and then you're good to go. You also get a discount per month. So technically speaking, the 12-month is the most cost-effective. You do save the most money there. Do we have a distribution company between last user, or do you sell directly? So we do sell directly, but we do also have distributors in certain countries. We do have primary distributors there. I don't have the list off my top of my head, but depending on your country, Murat, we can take a look at and see if they're operating in your region there. Steve, you also need 9v9. Is there only an option for 9v9, 7v7, and 11v11? Yes, those are our options. So we've got 11v11, 7v7, and then the 5v5. In those cases, when you have the 9v9, go ahead and select 7v7 or 11v11. It works the same. As I had said, all you need to do is check the preview mode and make sure that you can see the corners on the field. If you can see that, then you're good to go, and you don't really need to worry about the actual field size itself. And subscription payment. So the subscription payment would be for the actual subscription of the camera itself. You do need the subscription to go ahead and use the camera. That is part of the Veo process here, and get a lot of benefits actually for having the subscription. One of the biggest things is that you do have on the line customer support at any time, at any given time, and additional assistance that you probably won't be able to get elsewhere for one-time payment solutions in that case. Can you, Kim, can I still view Veo videos after the subscription is over? Good question, and that is correct. For now, you definitely can. This might change in the future. However, anything that you've recorded prior to your subscription ending, it will last on your platform for up to 12 months from the date it has been uploaded. So if I uploaded it today on the 18th, it would then expire on the 18th in 2027. So my recommendation, Kim, in those cases is if you've got a very notable game like a final or semi-final, you just download the game after your subscription has ended, and then you'll have it and keep it on your hard drive, and then you'll have it forever, hopefully. Right. Now, are there any how-to videos online? Yes, Steve, we do indeed have a lot of how-to videos online. On our YouTube channel, we have dedicated playlists that take you through every step of the way. However, a lot of our customers do like to hop on one-on-one calls because it's just a lot more interactive, and we can actually shadow each other. So while you're working on the computer and you're making clips, I can also be working on the computer, and we make clips together, and we can look at actual real life scenarios where, say, your players are doing something and you want to point those out. We can do those things together. Clarence, can we export the clips as a video file to upload to social media? Yes, indeed you can. You can actually go ahead and export all those clips and then create, as I said, take them to maybe CapCut or Adobe Premiere Pro, and then go ahead and create an actual social media highlight reel, and then you can post it on Instagram or wherever else you'd like to post it, right? Lee Nash, we have just purchased the Veo 3 with a club subscription and live. Can we stream it on YouTube Live? Indeed you can, Lee. Indeed you can. You actually can do that. It's very interesting. You've already purchased the camera here with us. If you purchase the camera through one of our sales team, Lee, please get in touch with them and ask them for an onboarding call, and they will actually route you through to my team, and we will hop on a call with you, and we will help you set up everything for Veo Live, so you can go ahead and live stream on your YouTube channel. Petros here. Why is the AI in Spotlight not working well for futsal, but other indoor sports? But when will this be possible? That is a very good question, Petros. That's primarily because the AI, the football AI, has been trained on football outdoors and not football indoors. So we've only just started having the capacity to get this many recordings for futsal and indoor football, and this is something that eventually will be working on futsal as well. I know that futsal is becoming a very big sport. We actually had the recent futsal championships in the UK, I believe. There was a small event there, and it was actually streamed with Veo Live. So it would have been nice also to have analytics, but eventually it will be coming fairly soon, I do believe. And Dan here, can you have two views at the same time, one on the ball, one on the keeper or player outside of play? So you can't, right? You'd have the one video and the entire recording, and as I had showed you, you can pop into the interactive mode and then go through and look at those specific moments if you so wish there. Now, Richie, we will share the recording, that's for sure. Does Veo give player stats, and does it do tagging information analysis? Good question, Wol. So this is something that will be coming. I cannot say what the ETA is, but I do believe individual player stats is fairly close. And you will need one of the add-ons, Spotlight or Analytics, to go ahead and take advantage of that once it does come out. Super important that in the case that you want to do individual player stats, that you go ahead and actually invite the players onto the platform and they have accounts, because without that, you won't be able to get the player stats once it's there. Now here we have Milan. Is it possible to download the full match? Yes, indeed. You can actually download the entire match itself. Can you create custom tags for specific team tactics or principles? Yes, Milan, you can actually go ahead and do so. So you saw on that list there, we had all sorts of things, goal kick, defense. You can actually add your own tags as well in there. Can you create bookmarks? As we just said, yes, you can create the bookmarks there. So transition from attack to defense, run in from behind, as we said. Dashboard like Longo Match. Not sure about Longo Match. If you send us an email to the customer support, maybe we can take a look at that together, and we can tell you if that's the case there in that case. Is it possible to show selected clips already at halftime? Unfortunately not. You can't do a mid-halftime there. However, you can look through your bookmarks, and you can use the playback actually to go back a couple steps or within the game to see what was happening there already at halftime. That's something you can do. How many cameras are recommended for softball? That's a very good question, Richie. In this case, just one camera is more than sufficient. You don't need multiple cameras in that case. Unless, of course, you have multiple softball fields, then go ahead and get multiple cameras to address each one, right? And finally, here we are with the last couple, 3 here. Can I download the Veo app, connect it, and manage it in a Tesla too? That is a very good question. I'm not too sure if that's possible. However, it's worth a try. You could go ahead and try that, and if it works out, great. Do let us know, and then we can say that hey, you can actually connect to your Veo Cam through your Tesla car. That could be cool. Francis, can I automatically export player highlights via the API to external storage or a link? So currently, right now, we don't give our API away. This has been this is something that we used to do, but right now our API is closed. Eventually, it might become available, and in that case, then we can take a look at that in the future, Francis. Now, do we have a distributor for Turkey? Not too sure exactly about Turkey, Murat. I don't know the countries off the top of my head, but we'll take a look at that and see if that is indeed possible. Dan, can you pull stats live for timeouts? So you can't, as we said, Dan, it's not possible to go ahead and pull the stats live during timeouts. However, as we said, one workaround is you can actually go back using the bookmarks and also the actual instant playback to go ahead and see what was happening there. So if you recall something happening during a timeout, you can go back a couple of paces on the actual application and then show the players and see, hey, you're doing something wrong over here, or we need to make an attack through this way, right, before we actually try to push instead, right? For now, in futsal, can you do the AI stuff manually, like tagging set pieces, players, etc.? Yes, indeed, Petros, you can definitely do that. You do that then with the bookmarking feature. So anytime you get a goal, you tap in bookmark, goal, and then, if there was a tackle, bookmark tackle, you can go ahead and do so. Again, highly recommend that you get maybe an assistant coach to help you with this, because if you're coaching and you have and doing that at the same time, it's a little bit difficult. But if you have someone dedicated to doing that, analyst, another player as well, you could teach them how to do that. And if that's all they do, then that really helps your coaching in the long run, right? And finally here, it's if it's a 5-side stadium, do we record the matches with futsal or 5-stadium options in the app? So you'd want to go ahead and put a 5x5 in that case. But as I have said before, just to be very, 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 very sure that everything's going to be okay, you just need to go into the preview mode on the actual camera. And when you're in the actual preview mode, just ensure that you can see the corners of the 5x5 pitch, and then you'll be good to go. Then you will have no issues on that front. Now, that was a lot of questions, and we're a little bit over time here, but I do hope this has been a very helpful and a very interesting webinar for all of you. Thank you all for being here, whoever's been here all the way from the start. We really do appreciate that. And hopefully we have some one-on-one calls fairly soon, because you go ahead and take advantage of this offer that we have. You should receive an automated email afterwards about this. In the event that you don't, you can just contact our support or our sales agents and then tell them, hey, you actually watched the webinar recently, you like the offer, and they will go ahead and help you with that. But that's all for me for today. I hope you all have a lovely day if your day is just starting, a lovely evening if you're here out in Europe, and take care then. Stay safe and have fun playing games. Bye-bye now.